subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to get all my latest writing tips and videos. And remember, be original. Be a writing original. Alright, here's some other tips I have to mention. Don't just market your book. You gotta market yourself. So think of your book like it has to have a nice cover, has to have good content, people have to like it, have to connect with it. It has to be, put in this store or put on this website or got a lot of eyes on it. And if people like see it and like it and all that, same thing with you. Here's also another thing that's very important is you gotta use better equipment because it's all about people hearing you, seeing you, the way you present yourself. So, maybe the little problem you're having of not getting enough subs or enough eyes is a bad microphone or, not good enough editing equipment. Like that's my problem. I got to get better, updated editing equipment where if I make a mistake, I can cut it out or this and that. So, I got to use my own, take my own advice too. We're all learning together. Like we're not, I'm not the best. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning. You got ideas. Maybe you can help me out. I'll help you out. We exchange ideas. We grow together. It's all that. Because the whole point is if you sell a great book, I'm going to buy your great book because there's going to be more great books and movies out there, and all the trash that is out there is going to be pushed aside. So that's what I'm saying. So become a brand. You got to brand yourself. You got to sell merch because it's a way for people to connect with, and if people like the brand, then they're going to wear that brand, like with sports, like with your favorite athlete, like with your favorite movie. You wear the shirts of the things you like. So shirts, hats, you can even come up with products that you either endorse or review, and for example, with writing, what could you sell? Sell some pencils, sell some notebooks, get some pens with your logo on it. Create a logo. So people, when they look at that logo, they associate it with you. Brand, marketing, get it? Try to start a movement with your book. There's like a saying I keep forgetting, but if you can get if the book can start a movement, then, whatever the saying is, I need to look it up. But, if you can start a new era, a new trend, a new, challenge, all those, you got all those food challenges, you got all those, whatever. I'm just saying, try to figure out something new where it can evolve into something great, where everyone wants to be a part of it, and, great things can come from it from that point on, Try this. Try monetizing your videos, doing paid ads before your videos. I know I hate those stupid commercials before every freaking ad. Please don't overdo it, especially when you're starting out. Like with the big guys, literally at one point they could put 1,000 ads and people will still watch it. Some of those big guys don't even care anymore because they're so big. They have so many subscribers. They're so rich that they don't even care what they do anymore because they have a strong cult following of followers that they could literally, do anything and people will watch them. But you're not at that level. So start out small. And why would you do this? Because, because the algorithm of YouTube and all this crap, they'll put you at the top of the list of viewers, or they'll market you better. So that's why, and I know what you're saying, oh, you want me to sell out? You're selling out to the big corporations, man. get real. You're not even that big yet to be in the, and you're not even in like swimming with the sharks yet. You're in a tiny like kiddie pool with guppies, so you're not really selling out anything. Once you get up there with the big dogs, and when you start making enough of a stink or of a people, a lot of people start noticing you, or big people, famous people start noticing you, and you start changing the landscape of how people think or how people view things, then you got to start worrying about making a choice if you're going to sell out to the man or if you're going to like stand out on your own and like take off with your own movement. But for now, you know, remember where you are. You're little right now. All right? Here's another thing you can do. Do special limit time offers to people who want to join the club, so to speak. So like, you could do free giveaways for everyone, but you could say, all right, guys, I'm going to do special content only if you sign up to like, whatever, Patreon or like special, I don't know how it works yet. I need to look into it. But, you could you put your videos in private, and if you sign up to a special subscription, monthly subscription, that's what it was, to like get extra bonus special never before seen content or products on your regular channel, people will sign up, monthly subscription, and only for those special viewers who want to, join the club. So you could try that. All right, let's get serious. These are all the tips that all those other YouTubers never mentioned. I don't know why, but here's what you really got to do. On top of all those other like analytical tips and putting the hard work and all those little details and blah, 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 all that. But this is what you really have to focus on. Okay, so you must use persuasion. It's all about persuasion. Likability or controversy. Okay, so persuasion is hard to do. Not many people can do it. You got to read a lot of books. It takes a lot of years and work to do it. Like that Scott Adams guy, you got to look into his work. You got to look into like subliminal stuff. You got to, for example, here's a way of persuasion. Likability. When you look at a person, is he presentable? Is there something about him that you like? You can't explain it. Maybe his look, maybe his voice, maybe his mannerisms that he might not even know he's doing, but is just something about him you like. Also this. Be controversial without being offensive or racist or whatever. Because everybody in this atmosphere now, in this climate, super sensitive and everyone's getting shadow banned if you say something, or if you don't have the right political views, you just get this thrown off the platform. You get flagged, you get trolled to death, be controversial, because controversy sells, but don't be, threatening or racist or offensive to all that. Like, see what line you can kind of cross or not cross, or the boundary. You gotta, look at that, because if you look at a video, for example, a review of a movie, right? And the guy's like, the movie's great, everything's great, the cast is great, I loved it, it's great. You're like, yeah, but it's boring. You gotta be like, yo, this movie's trash. This actor's horrible. You gotta yell and scream and, stuff like that, because that's what get the most eyes. If you have like 100 people in a room and you're like trying to get noticed and you're like, excuse me, hello, versus a guy who's yelling and screaming and jumping up and down and throwing stuff. You see what I'm saying? Persuasion. There's lots of ways, you gotta look it up. Make your audience connect with you. Tell your story. Just like with any great book or movie, you gotta connect to the character. You gotta know their backstory, lay the backstory out. Maybe you have a unique backstory. Maybe you have a relatable backstory. And other people can relate and, all that. And that's part of the likability and persuasion, So tell your story. Maybe you have, like, a crazy story or not a likable story. Like I said, be controversial. Find a character arc to maybe you started out the bad guy, but then you learned, you evolved, and now you're the good guy. A comeback story. Everybody loves that. So this is what all those other YouTubers are not talking about. Find a gimmick. Find a look. Some type of sound. I know that sounds crazy. I'll get more into it. A personality. Get a personality. That's a big one. Get a new idea. Think of a better idea. Copy someone else's idea, but make it your own. Okay? You gotta find a way to stand out. You gotta have a catchphrase. A catchphrase that makes other people, your subscribers, your viewers, your audience, feel like they're a part of something. I gave you examples before. But think of a catchphrase. Here's something out there that has nothing to do with writing. If the glove don't fit, it must have quit. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the only thing I remember. Everything after that in that trial was irrelevant because everybody was just thinking of that. Here's an example of a look. There's a guy I started looking at to figure out how to market and sell my book. I forgot his name. Maybe I think his name is like Darren Murphy, or I forget his first name, but his last name is Murphy. But you know how I remembered him? He had crazy, wacky hair. That's the only thing I remembered. And then I typed in Murphy and writing, and boom, he came up. Maybe wear a hat. Maybe wear suits. Remember that guy who eats or who does those food reviews? He's like super skinny and he was on Tosh 2.0. I don't remember nothing about him except he's like really creepy looking and he talks very proper with his pinky out whenever he eats like pizza. But he's dressed in only suits. Figure out like a look for you. Again, find some type of gimmick. Well, what about the sounds? Okay. Well, remember PewDiePie? He would have some weird sound he would always make on every video. Or he'd be like, PewDiePie! Or whatever. He'd say his name in a weird way. That's how I remembered him. Markiplier. He's always yelling and screaming and making these goofy noises. Or that Scottish guy or that Irish guy, whatever, who's doing video game reviews. He's so annoying. I hate him. But I can't stop remembering him because he always has to talk or make sounds or be animated 24/7, like non-stop in every second of his video. I don't even know what he's saying because he's making all these goofy sounds. So that's what I mean. You gotta be honest. You gotta be righteous. Do not be fake, but be exaggerated. Everybody will smell a fake if you try to be something you're not. Okay? You got to know what you're not. You got to know what you can't do. So you got to put yourself out there and be honest, but be an alternate version. Be a better version of yourself. Be the best version of yourself, but exaggerate. You got to expand on your personality or get a new personality. Like, maybe you have no personality. Well, you got to figure something out. You got to exaggerate your mannerisms. You got to yell and scream. Or you go the opposite. Like, be super, dull. be super non-caring. You know, like instead of be like, this movie is awesome, I can't believe it, I hate this movie. Like, be super animated and screaming. Be the opposite. Be like, yo, this movie is trash. Like, who the hell is gonna watch this movie? Speak like that if you have to. Because people will watch that and be like, yo, this guy is so ridiculous. Who talks like that? But guess what? You just got a bunch of eyes on your video because you have like a real dulled down personality or a super exaggerated personality. So you got to get a personality. All right, now, finally, here are some questions you need to ask yourself if you're having issues or, to figure out how to get the eyes and all that. Here, ask yourself these questions. What is the difference between a successful bad writer and an unsuccessful great writer? Eyes. I told you. Exposure. You could have the worst writer. His stuff is like mediocre or trash, but for some reason he's rich and famous. He keeps making movies. It's all because either he has some type of crazy personality and people just can't stop watching him, and therefore he uses that as an advantage to put out his movies. Or maybe he's connected with the right people and they keep putting his movies out there. Maybe the movies suck so bad that they're good. Maybe it's like a car crash. It's so ugly and disgusting, but you can't look away. So you could be having the greatest work in the world and all this and that, but maybe you don't have a personality. Maybe people don't like you. Maybe you're not getting the eyes on you or the right eyes. Here's another question. What if I'm not getting enough exposure? Then you're doing something wrong. It's all about presentation. You gotta present yourself in a better way. You gotta figure it out. Like, if you're dressed like a bum, maybe people want to see you more professional. Start dressing better. Like I said, you can go in the opposite direction, and every day you dress more and more crazy. That could be your gimmick. Like when you say to yourself, when you think of writing, who do you think of? Stephen King, blah, 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 whoever. But when you think of writing on YouTube, who do you think of? Nobody really stands out. You got to figure out a way to stand out. When I say to you about food reviews, you instantly think of all these food reviewers. Or like food challenges. Who do you think of? Furious Pete, Randy Santel, Darren Eats, Mike Stoney or Matt Stoney. You think there's people there. What about movie reviewers? You think of whoever you think of, but they're out there. You know what I'm saying? But when you think of writers or writing on YouTube, everybody's just smashed together. No one's really standing out. So, that's what I'm saying. So, here's another question. Why do I work harder for less exposure while others are working less and get all this exposure? Like I mentioned before. Maybe it has to do with luck. Maybe it has to do with, they came up with a great gimmick. Maybe they came up with a way to make everyone seem like they belong, like a group together. There's a lot of factors that you got to figure out. Maybe they're more focused niche and they're reaching the right people, and maybe you're not. Maybe because they are growing, because they are a bigger channel, they don't have to work as hard. At first, because you're a small channel, you got to put videos out every day. You got to do all those little details I talked about. But maybe these guys, because they're bigger, or they're more relevant, or they have figured out a way to be relevant, with their topic of, super specific, non-relevant, but they figured out to branch out, they don't have to work as hard. Maybe they just have it, and you don't. Finally, the last question, and this is like not a nice question, but you got to look in the mirror and ask yourself, what if my work has has exposure, but still nobody wants it? This is after you've tried everything for as long as you can. You got to say, at that moment, you got to look in the mirror and say, listen, I just don't have what it takes. My work sucks. My writing sucks. Nobody likes it. And now that I think about it, all those thousands of people have all said the same thing. It's either okay, not good enough, or it sucks. It's like realizing that you're not going to make it in the NBA after a certain age. You just don't got it, you never had it, and you're not gonna get it. So there you go. I hope everything helped. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like, share this video, hit me up on Facebook and Twitter, comment down below. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and also check out my other videos. And I hope to see you next time.